We come to a very interesting and important medicine for joints, is Kelly Iod. I prescribe this medicine a lot for joints, and I want you to understand well this medicine. What is the Kelly's location? Which side? Kelly is right-sided. What is the character of pain of Kelly's? Nature of the pain? Like Briania? Sensation. Stitching pains, yes. Stitching pains. Right? What is the modality of Kelly? What is that? So this is common between for all Kellys, right? You're with me? Now when you come to Kelly Iod is a psychosyphilitic medicine. Psychosyphilitic, right? Kellys generally don't have a particular miasm, they can be psychotic mostly, but Kelly Iod is a psychosyphilitic medicine. You're with me? When we come to the psychotic component for Kelly Iod, you'll find a lot of edema in the joints. If you think women or elderly people who are contemplating on a knee replacement surgery, who are thinking about a knee replacement surgery, and you see a lot of swelling, effusion around the knee joints. They go for frequent tapping of the knee joints, so there's frequent effusion of the knee joints, right? And Kelly Iod is a wonderful medicine for people who are on the verge of going for a knee replacement surgery because of that huge edema of the knee joints. And Kelly, by its property, has got the ability to absorb that effusion. The psychosis, what is the psychotic component here? The edema. And you know Kellys also have got edema of the eyes, if you remember, for Kelly. So here in Kelly Iod, it's a fantastic medicine for joint pains, especially knee joint rheumatism, where there is a lot of edema and effusion around the knee joints. You're with me? That's why I said people who are on the verge of knee replacement surgery, because of the huge edema, they go for frequent tapping of the fluid, right? So Kelly will help in reducing the pain, also it will help in reducing the effusion. You're with me? Also, what is the psychotic component for Kelly Iod? They can have a damp aggravation. Damp aggravation. You know damp is psychotic, right? So that's important for your Kelly. Why I said syphilitic component? Because if you think of an elderly who is on the verge of going on a knee replacement surgery, there has to be a lot of degenerative changes. So syphilitic component is the degenerative changes. You're with me? So if you think of an elderly woman who is on the verge of a knee replacement surgery, where you have a lot of edema, swelling in the joints, effusion in the joints, so she's going for frequent tapping. Along with that, there is a lot of degenerative changes, right? And that makes it a fantastic background for Kelly Iod. In the background, you have the modality aggravation, rest, better by motion, stitching pains, right-sided. Chilly or hot? Generally hot. Kelly Iod will be generally hot because of the iodum component. And also here you can add a note, aggravation night. Syphilitic, right? Night aggravation. So that's important for your Kelly Iod. Degenerative osteoarthritis. Two other medicines I shared with you. Remember degenerative osteoarthritis? Calc fluor, very good. Another one? Syphilitic medicine with migratory pains. I am talking about degenerative osteoarthritis. Calcaria fleur phytolacca. Remember I shared with you phytolacca yesterday. Syphilitic bone pains. Some symptoms of bryonia, some symptoms of Rostock's. So what you got for Kelly Iod? A right-sided medicine with a lot of stitching pains, aggravation rest, aggravation pressure. The knee is so swollen they cannot wear a knee cap. They will tell you, touch my knee joint, I burst with pain. So aggravation pressure, that's a Kelly component. But what is distinguishing feature of Kelly Iod is the psychosyphilitic component that differentiates with all other Kellys. What is the psychotic component? Huge edema of the knee joints, effusion of the knee joint, and the damp aggravation, right? The cold damp weather aggravation. You put that along with the degenerative changes, which is syphilitic, and the night aggravation, that is also syphilitic, right? Can you tell me what is common here with phytolacca? Have a look in phytolacca. Tell me what is common with phytolacca. Kelly Iod and phytolacca, very two close medicines for osteoarthritis. Have a quick look in phytolacca. You tell me the difference, please. What is common? First, common with phytolacca. Good. Worse from damp. What else? Common between phytolacca and Kelly Iod. What else? Common between phytolacca and Kelly Iod. Both have damp aggravation. Both have night aggravation. Right? You see, night is mentioned there. Both have night aggravation. Right? Both are right-sided. Bryonia, Rostock's, right-sided. Therefore, phytolacca is right-sided. Kelly Iod is also right-sided. So, both are right-sided. Both have got a damp aggravation. Both have got a night aggravation. Right? And you have a mixed modality in case of phytolacca, which can be aggravation motion, better by rest. Right? But here it's, as I said, it's more aggravation rest, better by motion. But what you will never find with phytolacca is this kind of huge edema in the joints. This is by virtue of the Kelly group. Kelly group have the preponderance and affinity for producing edema. And therefore, Kelly Iod's edema is concentrated around the knee joint. Kelly Carb's edema was concentrated around the eyes, but Kelly Iod's edema is concentrated around the knee joints. So that kind of huge effusion of the knee joints you will never find with phytolacca. You are with me? And this kind of aggravation pressure you will never find with phytolacca, because again that is a very common feature with the Kelly group. So they cannot wear a knee cap, they cannot press on the knee whenever there is pain. That is very innate of Kelly Carb. So the edema by virtue of his Kelly component, the aggravation pressure by virtue of its Kelly component is one of the major differences with phytolacca. But the common feature with phytolacca, both are right-sided medicines, both have got degenerative changes as they are syphilitic, right? Both have got a night aggravation as they are syphilitic. Both can have a damp aggravation because of its common feature with Rostock's in phytolacca. But in case of Kelly Iod, the edema is distinguishing, the aggravation, touch and pressure is distinguishing. You are with me? So make sure Kelly Iod and phytolacca are two medium-sized joint medicines, but I will say they are almost polycrest for joint pains. For joint pains, because they have got such an affinity for joint symptoms. Right? Have a quick look in body care please for Kelly Iod. I want you to try Kelly Iod, Kelly hydroiodicum.
look at calcareous flow?
Calcareous fluid is completely different modality. Aggravation, first motion, beta continued motion. You don't have that here at all with calcareous symptoms.
Yeah.
Right. But you see, Phytolacca and Kelly are related medicines. They're close to each other. If you see in the joint section, if you see in the modalities section, please, of Kelly iod, you will see it's mentioned aggravation, rest, aggravation, heat and warmth. Did you get that? Aggravation, rest, aggravation, heat and warmth. Why heat and warmth? Because of the iodum, right? Iodum is really hot, so the aggravation, heat and warmth, right? Aggravation, rest, aggravation, heat and warmth. Better by motion, better in open air. Why open air? Iodum, yes, iodum loves, craves fresh air. So because of the iodum component, they're better in air. So that's also important for your Kelly iod. You got that? If you look in the joint section, effusion of the joints. The two lines which I want you to highlight, diffuse sensitiveness and effusion of the joints. Sensitiveness is because of the Kelly component, aggravation, touch. Did you get that? Diffuse sensitiveness.
So it's aggravation, touch.
Diffuse sensitiveness. Got it? Sensitive to touch. Yes, sensitive to touch. That's the Kelly component. And effusion. Does it mention about effusion? With effusion. Effusion is a huge collection of fluid in the joints. Bryonia can also have a lot of effusion in the joints, right? But Bryonia's modality is what? Better by pressure. Better by rest, aggravation, motion. But Kelly is absolutely reverse. You're with me? You see, how will you remember Kelly iod? Remember by two of the greatest virtues of the Kelly group. What is the greatest virtue? Is the edema, is the sensitiveness. If you put that in perspective and now concentrate it on the joints, you'll understand Kelly iod. The edema here is concentrated on the knee joint. The sensitiveness also concentrated around the knee joint. And you'll never forget a Kelly iod prescription. You with me? Right? Therefore, Kelly iod is just a joint, wonderful joint medicine. Kelly hydroiodicum. Potency? 10 m?
30C.
Yeah. An old elderly woman who is contemplating a knee replacement, her knee will come out and will in her own hand if you give 1 and 10 m. Right? Homeopathic euthanasia. You don't want that. Right? So 12, 30.
Homeopathic euthanasia.
Yeah. Spontaneous amputation.
Oh.
Right? So don't try that. You know? So that's Kelly iod. And what will you give? Bryonia, Kelly, both doesn't work for that kind of huge swelling in the joints. Bryonia is also huge swelling, but aggravation motion better by rest. Kelly is huge swelling, reverse modality. Kelly iod, right? And what will you give? Bryonia, Kelly, both doesn't work. Come on, you know this. Bryonia not work, Kelly doesn't work for huge swelling in the joints. No? You're not wrong, but have a look in Allen's sulfur.
I don't know this.
You know this. You check it out. Have a look in Allen's. Allen's.
So that's it, Bryonia and Kelly don't work.
In Allen's it mentions the Kelly mute, but Kelly group doesn't work for effusion, and Bryonia doesn't work for effusion. Have a look in Allen's. First, second, third page. Third page in the middle.
facilitate absorption of serous. Is that
Yes. To facilitate absorption of serous or inflammatory exudates in brain, pleura, lungs, joints when Bryannia, Calimure or the best selected remedy fails. It's interesting because that's a psychotic condition, right? But sulfur, in spite of being a grand sodic medicine, has the ability to absorb serous fluids, and I prescribe on the basis of that as well, and worked. Even like big medicines have failed, joint medicines have failed, sulfur just comes to the rescue. You got that line? To facilitate absorption of serous or inflammatory exudates in brain, pleura, joints, lungs, meninges when Bryannia, Calimure or the best selected remedy fails. Sulfur. But don't always depend on that. Try with common modalities first, and then if it doesn't work, then you can think of sulfur. Alright? Kaliard 12C, 30C works best for Kili iod. I will say 12C because, as I shared with you, an elderly person who is on the verge of a knee replacement surgery, so there is a lot of degenerative changes and there's a lot of heavy pathology. You don't need to aggravate that condition. Alright? Take a break.